We don't know what Donald Trump would have done, but we can guess because he, for 4 years, conducted foreign policy, including in that part of the world. I think I know what he would have done. It's just a guess. You tell me. I think he would have gone to Qatar, or probably phoned them, and he would have said, hand over those terrorist leaders in the next 24 hours. He'd probably say, hand them over now. I have special forces ready to take them. Hand them over now, period. Not or else. He wouldn't have had to add the or else. He would have just said, hand them over now. Let me know if you have any problems with that. And I think he would have done so in a terrifying manner. He wouldn't have even had to say or else. Because the thing about Trump is, I remember, I think one of the most important moments in Donald Trump's foreign policy, and I don't know if you can find this, there's a picture of it. He's sitting at Mar-a-Lago, his mansion in Florida. He's having dinner with Xi Jinping, the Chinese dictator. So they're at his clubhouse, really. And yeah, show that. That's it. That's the one there. It's exactly it, that picture right there. Look at that. So they're sitting there in Mar-a-Lago. And I just want that picture of them. And they're having a bit of a boozy dinner, and it's super fun, and they're relaxed. Yeah, that's the one there. Perfect. You see how schmoozy that is? And while they're sitting there, while they're talking, when dessert comes, and I understand it was ice cream, 2 scoops. When dessert was coming, Trump fired a whack of Tomahawk cruise missiles at Syria. Yeah, show that image too. Just push the button, and he had it timed for dessert. He's talking to Xi Jinping, cool as a cucumber. They're telling jokes. He's probably telling some tall tales and some big stories. And over dessert, he fires a bunch of Tomahawk missiles at Bashar Assad in Syria. Just casually, just like he's ordering, would you like an after-dinner drink? Would you like a cappuccino? Would you like maybe a glass of port, maybe a cigar? Oh, by the way, fire a bunch of cruise missiles at Assad. The casual way in which he did it, like it's no big deal, like he does it all the time. He's not in the command bunker. This is so cash for him. It must have been shocking to Xi Jinping. And he must have had an aide rush up to him and whisper something in Chinese in his ear. By the way, President Trump has just fired these missiles. Like it was the effect of that. And so I think every leader in the world knew one thing about Donald Trump. He was unpredictable, and he would smash things he didn't like. For example, he had, I think, like the number 2 general of Iran taken out with a special forces. What was his name? Soleimani? Did I remember his name correctly? I forget what Iran did, but I think it involved the death of an American. Qasem Soleimani. There it is. Yeah, put that on the screen. U.S. strike in Iraq kills Qasem Soleimani, commander of Iranian forces. Soleimani was planning attacks on Americans across the region, leading to an airstrike in Baghdad, the Pentagon statement said. Iran's supreme leader called for vengeance. Yeah, he called for vengeance, but he didn't really act on it, did he? If you can take out literally the boss, that would be like taking out General Milley in the United States. That would be when you take out the top guy with an attack. Yeah, there he is. He was the mastermind. When you take him out, you're sending a message that you're not going to just mess around by blowing up some cannon fodder troops. You're not going to blow up some arms depot, or you're not just going to detonate some apartment. You are going to take out the big boss, and maybe the Ayatollahs are next. And so Iran gnashed their teeth, but they didn't do a damn thing. That was Trump. Do you think that those pipsqueak OPEC dictators of Qatar, if Trump said, oh, by the way, you will hand over Hamas's commanders to me today, our special forces are waiting, please take us to them. They wouldn't have to be in or else, because everyone would know the or else will Soleimani you, or else will Tomahawk cruise missile you. And so it's, I think it was Roosevelt who said, walk softly and carry a big stick. But Trump walked noisily and carried a big stick. But because of that, he very rarely had to use it. The 4 years of Donald Trump's presidency were some of the most peaceful years in American history. Russia didn't try. Russia tried something before Trump, invaded Georgia, invaded Ukraine. Russia did not try that when Trump was president. Under Biden, Russia invaded Ukraine. China became bellicose. Do you think for a second that China would have sent that spy balloon over America if Trump were president? Like, seriously, can you flipping imagine what Trump would have done? It would have been creative, it would have been shocking, and Trump would have announced it with a comedic flourish. Hey, can you call up, go on YouTube, please, or I don't know if it's on Rumble, but maybe YouTube's a faster way to find it. Trump al-Baghdadi. So when they got the bad dude from ISIS, his name was Baghdadi, listening to Trump announce the assassination of the head of ISIS, great special forces operation, absolutely went for the top guy. Instead of saying, oh, hi, Emir of Qatar, we really appreciate your help. We're not going to ask you to do anything. We're not going to ask you to stop funding terrorism. We're certainly not going to ask you to hand over the terrorists. We're here to say how much we appreciate you. I just want you to listen for a minute about how Trump, like, he just killed the top ISIS guy. And the way he announces it, I don't think he meant to be funny. But frankly, his humorous and entertaining style would make it all the more terrifying for a bad guy, because they're thinking this guy's a madman. Here, just play a little bit of this. It's been a while since I've heard it, but I recall, like, the way he talked about it, it was like he was on The Apprentice or something. Play the clip.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward. He was whimpering, screaming, and crying. And frankly, I think it's something that should be brought out so that his followers and all of these young kids that want to leave various countries, including the United States, they should see how he died. He didn't die a hero. He died a coward, crying, whimpering, screaming, and bringing 3 kids with him to die, certain death. And he knew the tunnel had no end. I mean, it was a closed end. They call it a closed end tunnel. Not a good place to be.
So this was going on before you made the announcement that you're...
I've been looking for him for 3 years. I've been looking for him. I started getting some very positive feedback about a month ago. And we had some incredible intelligence officials that did a great job. That's what they should be focused on.
He died like a dog. He died whimpering. People should see it. Maybe it's actually, now that I listen to it again, it's not quite as amusing or entertaining, but it's quite non-standard, wouldn't you say? That's not normally how people talk about a million. And by the way, he talked about the 3 kids that died with him. Yeah, there wasn't all, oh my God, there might be a civilian casualty if we take out the leader of ISIS. But did you hear what he said? He said, I've been hunting him for 3 years. He died like a dog. He said that, right? He died like a dog, whimpering. People should see it. So he took out a top terrorist. But really, that video announcement was just as important, wasn't it? Because how many terrorists saw that and thought, I could be next. Maybe I'm not going to target Americans now. Compare that to Antony Blinken meeting with the head of Qatar and saying, hey guys, I know you're funding Hamas and I know you're harboring them, but we just really, really appreciate you. And thanks so much for being a go-between here and negotiating. We appreciate you. Okay, we're going to go now. If Machiavelli was asked, which is better, to be feared or to be loved? And in that part of the world, it's the strong horse, as Osama bin Laden would say. And Donald Trump was the strong horse. I remember the New York Times said a story. Google New York Times, Donald the Strong, nytimes.com, and then Donald the Strong. The Chinese give nicknames. Trump's a real nicknamer, isn't he? Yeah, that's the one there. Uncle Trump, that's the story there. So when Trump went to China, Trump really targeted China rhetorically, didn't he? And how did China take that? Did they disrespect him? Did they sneer at him? No, they actually treated him with more respect because he was so tough with them. This is an interesting story. I haven't read it in a while. You can see the headline, Uncle Trump finds fans in China. Uncle Trump. That's a I don't know if term of endearment is the phrase. Yeah, let me read the first paragraph there. So this is from 2017. This is his first year as president. Let me read a bit. I remember this. I haven't read this in a while, but I just remember this article because the New York Times hated Trump from the beginning. They hate him today, but they called it like they saw it here. Beijing. They call him Donald the Strong. They heap praise on his family. They fawn over his rapid-fire tweets. They have even created an online fan club. In America, President Trump faces a feisty press corps, damaging investigations into associates, and sagging approval ratings. But in China, where Mr. Trump arrived Wednesday, he has acquired a legion of admirers who hail him as a straight-talking politician and business mogul with a knack for deal-making. And they go on. They refer to him as scroll down, as Uncle Trump, Grand Commander, and Donald the Strong after Minister Trump's visit to the Forbidden City on Wednesday with President Xi Jinping. One fan wrote on social media, "Long live Emperor Trump." Mr. Trump's Chinese fans praise his irrepressible style, his skill as an entertainer, and his willingness to say what he thinks. Many also like the fact that he seems less inhibited than previous American presidents about recognizing China as a superpower and as an equal on the global stage. Okay, thanks very much. My point is, you wouldn't say Uncle Biden, you would say Grandpa Biden, but not in a good way. Would you ever say Biden the Strong? Would you ever say Grand Commander? You wouldn't say it because you wouldn't believe it. The whole thing about nicknames is that they have to have a ring of truth to them. That's why Trump is so devastating with the nicknames he gives people. Sometimes they're really weird nicknames, but they stick. Like Low Energy Jeb. Remember when Jeb Bush ran against Trump and Trump called him Low Energy Jeb? That's that's not even a nickname. No one would say that. But Trump did, and it stuck, and it just totally nailed his essence. Donald the Strong, Uncle Donald, Grand Commander. Yes, yes, yes. Look at Antony Blinken going to the same places and being absolutely weak.
By the way, we're sending a reporter to Israel, Avi Yamini. In fact, as I speak, he's boarding the plane in Melbourne, Australia, to fly with our cameraman, Benji, to Tel Aviv. He's there to tell the truth about the war. If you want to help us crowdfund his economy class airfare from Australia to Israel for him and for Benji and for their hotel costs and other costs, we're trying to find them a bulletproof vest, for example. Please go to thetruthaboutthewar.com. That's the special website we've set up, thetruthaboutthewar.com. From downtown Toronto, well, uptown Toronto actually, in front of a line of police, this is Ezra Levant for Rebel News.